Hello, and welcome to another episode of In the Spotlight, where we shine a light on entrepreneurs, SMEs, and innovators. I'm really happy today to be joined by Erik. Erik is the CEO of Deverg, and I'm your host, Maxine Crow. Welcome, Erik. How are you today?
I am very good, Maxine. I'm happy to be here.
It's lovely to finally get you in the spotlight to talk about Deverg, and I'm really excited to learn more about your company, about you, and your journey.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, I'm excited as well. And when you asked me like some months ago, I thought this would be brilliant. So very happy to share and be part of your cool podcast.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start by asking you, first of all, for the audience, to introduce yourself
Yep.
and your
Do I just
venture.
go ahead? Oh,
Yeah. So I'll just ask you to introduce yourself and your venture.
okay, yeah. So I'm Erik Devergsnes. I am 56 years old. I am from Norway, but I live and work in London. I have a wife and three kids and three grandchildren. And my venture Deverg, we are like a global IT consultancy, and we are a team of around 50 very senior database specialists and cybersecurity specialists. And the thing that kind of sets us apart a bit is that we only use very senior people. So on average, they have like a 20 years experience. And we like to help medium to large clients with kind of their projects, but also doing smaller jobs like health checks or troubleshooting, performance tuning as well.
Thank you, Erik. And what actually inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
I think it was back in my very young age. You see, my father, he was a photographer, so he had started his own business. He had his own photography shop. And when I was a little boy, I was allowed to come and help him and work in the shop and doing things. So I was even developing film, kind of producing pictures and helping him even put together frames, when you're hammering and putting frames together and putting picture in. So I was really involved in that. And what was very exciting was that what kind of made me quite excited was at the end of the day, especially I remember on a Saturday when he had been finishing the day, maybe it was 2 p.m. He then was doing up the till. Back in the day, everything was just cash. So I
Yeah.
remember he just took all the cash from the till and he put it in his wallet, and the wallet was so full of cash of these notes he could hardly bend it or close it. And I was thinking, oh my God, look at all the money. And I was thinking, we are so rich, we can do anything we want. And also, I remember I got a reward, and that was because I've been helping him out. He took me walking across the street of the shop, and we went over to this hot dog stand. And there I could get anything I wanted. So I remember always having this big sausage with everything on, like ketchup and mustard and onion, and I was just devouring this thing. So the whole concept of my father business and money and eating this hot dog was just like, wow, it was amazing. Yeah. And also my father was a very creative person. He looked at anything that he could make. Like I remember he had like some bottles he had like, and then he painted them and he put a candle in them, and then he said, "Oh, we can sell these." And then he found like a plank or something and he painted something on that and think, "Oh yeah, this is something we could sell." So he
Yeah.
was always full of ideas. And I remember he had this saying like, "Nothing is impossible for God, a photographer." So he was so positive, always up for something. So I think I got my inspiration from him.
I think that lit an entrepreneurial spark in you from a very young age, by the sounds as well. He sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, he was really showing interest in us. I had a brother and a sister. I mean, he was really kind of interested in what we were doing and encouraging us to kind of try and do and fail. So that was really cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
So Erik, tell us where did the idea for the business come from?
Well, my idea from the business was that I have been working for an oil company in Norway for almost 10 years, and then I'd seen different kind of consultancy coming and going, working. I was then working as a permanent employee for Shell, the oil company, and I was an IT consultant. I worked in databases. And then I moved over and I worked in London, and I joined the Deutsche Bank team, had like a very good database team. And I was there for almost 10 years, and I was just so impressed when I looked at these people, and I was part of this team, and the skill and how amazing they were just incredibly good. But in 2013, my mum passed away, and I want to move back to Norway, and I want to be more with my kids. So I joined and worked for another oil company, and I worked for some other companies. And what I noticed was that there was this massive difference in quality of what was delivered to clients from what I remember from the days in Deutsche Bank. So working like what I call like a Formula One team, when I worked in a team with the guys in Deutsche Bank, to then working with other companies and other system integrators, I said, this is a massive, massive difference. And I couldn't believe it. So I thought, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to take the skill of someone who's very, very senior and very good, and go and give that to clients so they can really experience a difference of working with someone who's really passionate and really knows things. And they just kind of fix things so much faster. And the whole experience for the customer is so much better when they really use people who are really, really knowledgeable. So that's why I started Deverg, by actually using some of my mates back from the Deutsche Bank days, and really making a difference and helping clients.
Yeah. And what were your initial challenges that you found? So you've gone from being a full-time employee, you've recognized an opportunity within the industry and the sector that you're serving. Tell us about the initial challenges that you faced when you started.
Yeah, I mean, the challenges for us is that many of the medium or larger clients, they have a preferred supplier list. So, and because we are still a kind of a new company and no one really heard of us, we can't really get a contract directly with the client. So we have to then work with, so what we do, we kind of work with partnerships with other companies who are on the inside. So, so even we have all the experience and all the knowledge, we can't really go and pitch directly to some of the bigger clients. But then again, what I think it's a benefit here is that by working with some of these other partners, we can then go in and show off and show that we are really good, and it also makes the partner looks good as well. So it's like a win-win. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then just to learn a little bit more about you and your approach, how would you handle setbacks or failures? And can you share some experiences with us of that?
Yeah, I think actually something completely outside of IT was that I've always been an entrepreneur and always been interested in doing things. And this was back in the day. I was actually in Norway on a barbecue and at my brother's house, and I was sitting next to this lady, and we were talking, and she said she was running this really successful shop in Norway, in a shopping mall, and what she was selling was like really high-end, really high quality fashion clothes for plus size women, for big ladies. And I had already been working in England for some time, and I knew there was quite a lot more bigger ladies in England than there were in Norway. And she said, this is really, really crazy. The women absolutely love the fashion. I mean, as soon as we get goods in, they are sold out immediately. So I just kind of, it was like a bing, okay, here is an opportunity. And actually, there's a doorbell. Can we just pause it or go back?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Just a second.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm just gonna. Yeah.
That's okay. So you're telling us about this lady with the retail store.
Yeah. So so I was at this barbecue, and she was explaining to me like how amazing this business was, and then I said, well, I'm in London now, and maybe I can take this business to England because there could be a potential for like expansion there. So she said, yeah, maybe. So she gave me the introduction to the Danish supplier and everything. And they were really keen to see if they could expand into England, and we did some research, and I got some guy to help me with a business plan, and we presented it, and we opened up in the Glades shopping mall in Bromley, just outside London.
Yeah.
But I did so many mistakes, and also, you know, you do something you have no experience in. I didn't have the right team, and the timing was, we actually opened just before the financial crisis. I think I opened in October 2008, and then
Yeah.
of course the financial crisis really hit in. So in the beginning of December, when we're going to have all the amazing sales, because all the shops around us had 50% discount,
Oh,
we just hardly sold any. We had no margin, so we never made any money on it.
yeah.
And also, the plus size in England was much bigger than the plus size in Scandinavia. And even what we had as the smaller sizes, they were not even selling at all, and we couldn't get enough of the big sizes. And the women
Yeah.
absolutely loved the clothes and everything, but it was really tough. So in June, I think in July 2009, I had to close down because I
Yeah.
couldn't pay the rent, I couldn't pay anything. So uh, what I learned from that was just like, firstly, I was running it by myself. I was still at Deutsche Bank as an IT consultant. I had a wrong team on board. I didn't research the market well enough, and I think this kind of learned me a really valuable lesson. So when I'm doing Deverg now, I'm not doing it by myself, and I'm doing something
Hmm.
that I'm an expert in. I've been doing this for like more than 20 years, 25 years. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of how you kind of just bounce back, and if you have the drive in yourself, you just kind of come back again, and you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Just to compare a little bit there, 2008, where you're opening up a retail store in London, just outside London in Bromley. 2008, I was actually opening up a small village pub and became a landlady. So in life, we were going through parallel learnings, learning the hard way, the right stuff. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because you end up, yes, the lessons were learned, and it's
Yeah,
really important where you've got that skill, and which we'll talk a bit more about now. Um,
yeah.
how does your product actually differ from those that are already in the market? So let's delve a bit more deeply into your product and your services.
Yeah, no, I think where we differ is that we only use very senior, very experienced consultants that work with our clients. So for the client, it means like you have someone who's have the you know, we always talk about having 10,000 hours of experience before you can be an
Mm,
expert.
yeah.
So you can just imagine having someone working with you, or looking at your databases, or looking at your cybersecurity stuff, having done 10,000 hours compared to someone who's done, I don't know, a few hundred hours or maybe less than that.
Hmm.
And also, what's good with us is that all the clients can talk directly to the contractor that work with the issue. But many
Hmm.
of the other companies, they have like a so-called like a handler, or like a project manager who they have to go via. But with us, they can go directly. And also, because they are very senior and very experienced, we don't need to create a project just for the sake of having a project. A person that we have can very often just handle the whole kind of little project, or like a work
Yeah.
by himself. So we save a client a lot of money, and also the solution and what we implement has been tried and tested, and because of this person experience, is actually a total a very much better solution, we think.
Hmm.
And especially, I think COVID showed us, because we only work remotely, so we don't have any expensive offices, we don't have any kind of big VC firms that we need to pay money to and stuff like that. So um, yeah, so by having access to remote working, and you only pay for the hours you need, it kind of makes us kind of different and a bit unique, I would say. It's a massive
Yeah.
return on investment for the clients to work with someone else
Yeah.
like us.
It sounds like a really great business model that you've got there. What strategies have you employed to grow and scale the business since you started?
So because we can't really go directly to our clients, what we do, we have started working a lot more with partnerships.
Mhm.
So we find other IT consultancies or someone who might deliver something different from us. So they don't have a database arm or they don't have cybersecurity, but they have something else, and we go and partner with them. And also we actually reach out to system integrators and ask them, uh, if you are struggling or if you need some help, we are happy to come along and work alongside you to support you as well. So we have so that's kind of been our strategy now.
Mm, that's
And
brilliant.
and also another thing I was thinking is that uh, for clients to try us out, instead of having to go with like a big project or say like do a cloud migration, we have something very small and tangible thing they can buy off us. So we
Mhm.
have like a cybersecurity health check or a database security health check that's only taken a few days. So it's a very reasonable product to buy from us, but you can really try us out, and then you get a really high quality work and you get a really good report, detailed report afterwards. And then the client can decide, do we want to use you to implement or fix some of these things, or they can then use their in-house people, or they can get another third party to implement. But at least they can try us out for a few days, which is, yeah,
Yeah,
you're not going to break the
it'd
bank,
be
and
nice.
it's, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually share the details, the links to those health checks, so that we can share those with the audience, and actually just get that circulated once we've finished with the spotlight.
Yeah. And another thing we do as well is that to keep attracting very quality and senior consultants is that we give them share options in the company. So we want them to be part of us in the long run. And for me, it's always been, I've always been like amazed about the quality of some of these people and how exceptionally good they are. And I always wanted to give back to the guys or the girls who are really the experts, who really have the brains,
Yeah.
because it's amazing what they can do. And I've always, well, I have this saying, I think I should try and get it into like a slogan for the website or for the
Yeah,
company,
you
but
should. You should.
I like to say that what Diego Maradona could do with a football, our guys can do with a database. So it's kind of a funny, yeah, link there.
It's really cool. You should actually put that on the website, and you should have that as your little strap line. You have to.
Yeah,
It's a really
I
good
try that.
one. So, Erik, we've talked about your journey, how you started, what inspired you. Can you share a success story with us from a risk that you took?
Yes, I can. I'm not, yeah, definitely a massive success story, and it's maybe a little bit of a risk as well, because this was the first client we really took on board, and I really put my head out there and said we can definitely fix this. So this was when I was just I left Deutsche Bank and I was back in working in Norway, and I was working for BP oil company actually.
Hmm.
And BP oil company had many Oracle databases, and they also have one of the largest system integrator who was looking after all the databases. And one of the systems they were having an issue with was a asset management system, and it's very critical for the business. It kind of kept track of everybody who was working offshore and what kind of jobs they were doing and stuff. But what has been happening was that during heavy workload, what I noticed was that the system almost it just froze and it wasn't available to work. And it actually turned out that this has been a problem for more than a year, but I could never really find out what it was. Even the owner of the application had spent people looking at it, couldn't find out. And even the system integrator had several of their senior DBAs been looking to try and find out this issue. And it was getting such a problem now that they were actually afraid of this actually shutting down the oil rig, because if they lose overview of what people are working on, might have to shut down production, and then I think they lose something like £2 or £3 million an hour. So it's like
Wow.
massively expensive to have a system going down. So one of the guys in IT came to me and said, Erik, I know you worked for Deutsche Bank, and I know you have your team and you guys. Could you have a look at this? Can one of you guys come and have a look at it? So I got one of my senior guys who is an expert in databases and especially Oracle. So he started looking at it, and he really drilled down, and this is kind of where we are different, because many of the system integrators and these people, the junior one, they can look at a screen and they can look at red and green and yellow flags and click a button. But when you have a really serious issue, you need to kind of go behind the scene and drill into the database and look at trace files and kind of really dig deep. So he did that. He spent a few hours, and quite quickly he managed to find the issue. And then a few hours later, he managed to actually reproduce the issue. And then a bit later again, he actually managed to produce the code to actually fix this for them. So he only spent, I think, in total, say like 7-8 hours, and over like 3 or 4 days, because he worked a few hours, then he went back, and then he come back again. And we just saved them a massive, we prevented a big outage, and they were really, really pleased. So I was really, really pleased with this, and yeah, so that was a massive success. We actually have it on our website on one of our case stories as one of our success stories.
Yeah, that's an amazing story. And when you think about how much they were losing a day, and then you come in and actually do that, that's a great testament to your capability and the strength of the people that you have working in your team.
Yeah. And I'm still I'm still quite surprised actually when I see IT leaders today keep on hiring these large system integrators and then still end up having issues and problems, and it's almost become the norm. And I think when people are so used to it, they just take it for granted that this is how it is. But it doesn't have to be like that.
No, they accept that, and it's great that you're sharing your capabilities and what you can actually do as a service. So I'm going to drill some more into the questions. So, how do you manage unique challenges faced by SMEs, especially when like you've talked a lot about big enterprises, integrators, and competition? So what do you focus on, and how do you manage those challenges?
I think the challenge is that because we are new, we can't really go direct, so we have to find other ways. And then so like I said, we are working with other IT consultancies or other companies who are or even recruitment companies. We're working with them to see if we can get in, because they already have they're on the list, or they can get us in. And also that we have some of these smaller products that can try us out. Just to kind of get used to us, get us one foot inside the door. And then really working on our brand awareness, writing articles and doing posting to kind of show we are different. And also in the new year, I'm going to start doing some webinars where we're going to give some case studies and really explain kind of what we can do and stuff. So we just have to be a bit patient, I think, and just kind of slowly we will get there.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also about raising the awareness, so people actually know, oh, hi, we're here, this is what we do. Hence having you on the spotlight today.
Absolutely, exactly, Maxine. No, that's really, really cool. Yeah, thank you.
So what advice would you give to SMEs, entrepreneurs who are looking to expand?
I think make sure that you have something that's quite unique, or like in the way you're delivering it, or the service together with your product, or what you're delivering. Make sure that this is something that sets you apart. And also try and find out quickly if this is something people really want to buy. So like, can you create like a quiz or a scorecard, ask some questions and see if people really want to go for this. I think that could be very important to do. And also, don't do it by yourself. Team up with someone else. Find maybe an established partner you can work with. Get someone to join you, and even use like a mentor to help you to have experience. Yeah,
that's some really great advice that you've given there and shared. Let's look fast forward now into the future, and where do you see your business in the next 5 years? What plans do you have?
Yeah, no, we want to be global, and we want to be recognized all around the world as like world's best database and cybersecurity specialist. So we want to continue expansion into Europe and Scandinavia, but also USA and Asia. And we want clients to become more and more aware of who we are, and also they will wake up to that they can buy skills and actually get high quality skills from someone, and really understand that return on investment using us will be much better for them than maybe buying with the bigger companies. And also that we continue to attract more and more of these high quality consultants, and they understand that working with us, they have flexibility to work when they want, and also that kind of the Deverg brand becomes almost like a stamp of quality and excitement, and they be part of creating something that they also have ownership in, and then eventually have a good exit that they will be happy with.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's really exciting. Um, just a question around advice. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received as an entrepreneur?
Uh, I think because what I've seen so far is that we need to have quite a few kind of partnership agreements and contracts. So always spend the money on legal advice, making sure you have legal advice. Uh, Also, again, I keep going on about this, but don't try to do it by yourself. Get a team, or at least one partner in the beginning, so you don't do it by yourself. And also work with something you're really passionate about. Because there are many tough times, and if you don't work with something you're passionate about, it's very easy to give up. Like when I had that big lady or the big fashion store, I wasn't really passionate about the product, so it was just like very, very hard all the time. And also get a mentor. Have a mentor that has done it before or can help you and guide you, and open doors. I will recommend that.
Mm. And on the flip side of that, what advice would you give to budding entrepreneurs and innovators?
Yeah, I think actually choose something you're really passionate about. Like I said, it will come sometimes when you really, really want to give up. But if you really love your product or you love your service, and there is a need for it, you will find the strength to just push on, and there is no
Mm,
other solution. This is the answer. So you're willing to give all.
mm,
And again, don't do it alone. Find someone to do it with, and also try and fail quickly. If you're unsure if this is really a good idea, try and find out quickly and measure it if this is worth spending money on or not.
yeah,
Find out quickly, will someone actually buy this?
yeah, that's some really good advice there. Erik, I know that you're very outdoorsy with skiing and activities and mountains. How do you maintain your work-life balance?
Um, I think maybe I'm a bit of like a workaholic. I think also because I love what I'm doing, and it's just so great. And also me and my wife, we kind of commute between Norway and London, so I do have a lot of spare time, kind of in the evenings and stuff. So when we are not together, I like to work, but
Mhm,
also get yourself a really good assistant. So I've got a really good assistant, so I delegate a lot to her, and she helps me with a lot of things. And also you must learn to prioritize, to really stop doing the things that you don't have to do. And I remember someone, I think there was a coach I had some years ago, he told me this tip about having, you have all these things you want to work on and do, and maybe some goals and stuff, and he said write down 20 of the most interesting things you want to do. And then he said, separate out the 5 top ones. So you kind of prioritize the top 5 ones. So you put that into one list. And then he said, the other 15 ones you put into another list. And then on the top of the
mhm,
5 top ones, he said, these are the 5 top goals. And on the 15 list, you put like a never touch. and both lists you put on the wall next to you, so you can always see them. And it's just like a reminder that you never ever go and do anything on that list of the 15 tasks. So you only keep focus on the one with the 5. Because we have a tendency to just kind of, yeah, jump over to do something you really shouldn't be doing it, but it's a little bit exciting, and then you just keep juggling many different things instead of being very focused on a few things. So that's something that I've learned to be much better at.
Yeah.
And also getting up early in the morning and do some exercise, because when you have get up early and you don't exercise, the endorphins coming turn on, so you just feel so much better having done the exercise. And also what me and wife do, we plan ahead, so we book in holidays well in advance. And we know we have the skiing holiday coming up in March with the tent group. It's going to be exciting, and we're going to go do some other great stuff. So by having these things that you put in first, then kind of work comes second, and then and also be careful about who you spend your time with. So that was quite a few things, actually.
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued, Erik. What's on your never touch list?
Oh yes, I had I have not start dancing class right now, because I like to dance, but I have too many other things. So I said, no, don't do a dancing class. I want to do dancing. Actually,
I
I don't
don't know
have
if
that
you
list.
need. I don't know if you
I love.
actually need a dancing class. I've seen you dance.
I know, but I want to, maybe ballroom dancing, or like get really into
Oh,
the some Latino dancing and really be good at it. I think yeah. And also I have other projects, other entrepreneurial things I'm thinking of doing, but I can't do them now.
mm. So just a couple more questions for you. How did you identify and decide to focus on this particular niche? Was it just because of your experience within this sector?
I think it was a combination of like this sector or this industry. I am really, really an expert in. I've been doing this for so many years. I've worked with databases for like Shell, BP, Deutsche Bank, Cap Gemini, many large clients, and I've seen it all. And I really seen the massive difference you can make for a client when you have really experienced people doing it compared to some junior. So I know that we are making a massive difference. So that's why I decided to focus on this. Yeah.
That's great. Erik, if the audience want to connect with you, what's the best way that they can reach out and contact you?
I think on the website, I'm not sure if you will share this afterwards or if it's
Yeah,
available, but
I'll share it.
deverg.global. Yep, that
Yeah,
there. And also on the contact section on Deverg Global, they can go to, there's like a calendar link there. They can actually book directly a session with me if they want to have a catch up.
yeah.
Or they can send me an email, erik.devergsnes@deverg.global. Or also my LinkedIn is just on linkedin.com is like Erik-Devergsnes.
Thank you. And then, are there any? You've talked about starting webinars in the new year. Do you have any other up and coming events planned?
Not at the moment, but we will be launching quite a few in 2024. So if someone connect with me, I'll put you on the list of interests, and then we will let you know. But we're going to plan quite a few coming up, actually. Yeah.
Some final thoughts and words of wisdom. Is there a book, podcast, or resource that's been particularly influential for you?
There was a book I read some years ago. It's called The Dream Manager. I actually have it here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but can you see it?
Yeah. No, you've just disappeared. Share it afterwards.
Okay, yeah. The Dream Manager is about having someone in your company who really has an interest in your employees or your partners or your contractors' dreams. What are the people's dreams, and make sure they get fulfilled. So that was a really interesting book for me. And another one called How to Be More Pirate is actually be pirate, be a bit tough, shake up the world. Those two books are really cool. And also Two podcasts that I really like is the Plain English with Derek Thompson. That's really good.
Mhm.
And another one, the High Performance podcast with Jake Humphrey and Damien Huge. They're really cool ones.
I will make sure that I share all these this information with the audience once we've finished. Any final words of wisdom or encouragement for our audience?
I think just don't do it by yourself. Get someone to do it with you, and make sure you have some fun. Make sure you have time for family and friends. Don't spend all your time on this business, because it's not the most important thing. I think family and friends is the most important thing. I've been very lucky to have 3 grandchildren, and when that happened, that was for like that's like 4 years ago. My first granddaughter was born, and that's like a new love experience. It's just amazing. So do that, yeah, and and don't be afraid of being different. Just believe in yourself and go for it. Just do it. Yeah.
Oh, Erik, it's been an absolute pleasure learning about Deverg, learning about yourself, your family, your journey. I want to just a heartfelt thank you to you today for being here with us, and I will be seeing you very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Maxine, for having me, and I love your spotlight as well. So thank you very much.
You are so welcome. This has been another episode of In the Spotlight with Erik Devergsnes, CEO of Deverg Global. Thanks for listening.